For the best experience, use headphones.
Queen in f6.
Papa?
Yes?
There's something I still cannot fully understand.
What is that?
Why do the pieces sacrifice themselves for each other?
It's It's a tactic within a larger strategy. Checkmate. Ultimately protecting what is most precious to them. Son.
Papa, you been crying?
They track our vibrations.
I think they're leaving.
What a coincidence.
What a coincidence.
Do you remember hearing about that weird, strange-shaped object that passed through our inner solar system late last year? And it was given the name Oumuamua, Hawaiian for scout or messenger from our distant past. Now, scientists have analyzed data from many observatories, including NASA's Hubble Space Telescope, and found that this interstellar object has gained an unexpected boost of speed.
It set off a hurricane of press speculation.
Over 2 months in late 2017 and early 2018. The observations were combined with data from multiple ground-based observatories, which showed Oumuamua to have a small, continuous, non-gravitational acceleration. Something besides just the gravity from the sun and planets was affecting the trajectory of Oumuamua.
And where had it come from?
To answer these questions, I'm going to piece together all the clues that scientists were able to extract from the small amount of data that they gathered as Oumuamua flashed through the solar system. This forensic analysis, including new exclusive revelations, will give us the most comprehensive picture yet of this extraordinary object. Now, this is the first picture taken of Oumuamua from the telescope in Hawaii. Looking at it, it's quite hard to spot, but it's actually this splodge here. Now, you can tell it's moving really fast because the stars appear as points, whereas this is a blur across the screen. Within days of being spotted, detailed information about Oumuamua was coming in. For Michel's light analysis, a shape was proposed. It was thought to be an elongated cigar shape, 100 to 400 meters in length. By the end of November, the strange shape and exotic nature of Oumuamua had led to some extraordinary speculations. Was Oumuamua an alien artifact? But it wasn't an entirely stupid question. Oumuamua was so strange that at this stage, almost anything seemed possible.
So recently, into our solar system, above the, what's it called, the plane of the ecliptic?
Sure.
Okay, where the planets go around?
Yeah.
From above or below or whatever,
Yeah.
off the axis of where the planets go around.
The planets all do this around the sun.
This thing came from deep space, not in our system, not from your Oort cloud or your Kuiper
First
belt.
time ever an object from interstellar space has been observed to visit our solar system.
Now, this thing's got to be like a ship, right? That looks too much like a spaceship.
This is not a photograph.
What?
This is an artist's rendering. We know it's elongated, and I don't believe this is just...
You don't get to take... What about that? What about that one right there? You hold it whatever you want.
You got people.
You
got people.
I got people.
You got
Look
people.
at that.
So,
okay, but it looked like that.
No. So
what do you say? It was elongated?
I'm just saying cigars don't come journeying into solar system. So,
which is why it has to be an alien
this
spaceship.
is a Cohiba cigar.
Yeah.
Right. So, because you don't get that by nature. You don't get that.
Yeah, that's why it's man-made.
Alien
made.
You want that to be aliens. That's what, just fess up. You want that to be aliens.
Of course I want that to be aliens.
Okay, so...
That's the whole point of this question that I've never finished.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. This thing came in, moving fast.
Yeah.
It has escape velocity, a hyperbolic orbit.
What?
Okay, hyperbolic trajectory.
Okay.
That's why we say hyperbolic.
Yeah.
Hyper is,
Yeah.
it's got more energy than
Abolic.
Than abolic, yeah, hyperbolic. It's parabolic, for example.
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. Okay, so the reason why it's probably not aliens is its trajectory around the sun was completely determined by gravitational forces.
The observations were combined with data from multiple ground-based observatories, which showed Oumuamua to have a small, continuous, non-gravitational acceleration. Something besides just the gravity from the sun and planets was affecting the trajectory of Oumuamua.
Its trajectory around the sun was completely determined by gravitational forces.
How do you know?
Because we know, we calculate this. We have these laws of gravity.
Which showed Oumuamua to have a small, continuous, non-gravitational acceleration.
We have these laws of gravity, laws of physics.
Look at this. See this? See that? That trajectory was completely controlled by gravitational forces after it reached its peak up here and came back down, and yet a thinking creature started the process, okay? It doesn't mean, if this came in and you go, oh, gravity did that, but somebody made it go to here. Checkmate. Parabolic. Parabolic. That, my friend, is called a taste of your own medicine.
So this thing, so all I'm saying is, if it's only moving by the force of gravity, then it's not, we presume it doesn't have, like, rockets and things. If this were aliens in some kind of advanced ship, it would be maneuvering, doing interesting things.
But maybe it already maneuvered on its way in. It was doing a close pass around the sun to get a whip and acceleration, the way they use satellites to go around the back of a planet to whip them out into outer space. You know how we use
it's called slingshot effect. Yeah,
You don't have to tell me.
That's right. So, okay, maybe the aliens shut off their engines to masquerade as a cosmic object to get a slingshot effect around our star.
Maybe we can't perceive what their engines are, and that they have a mode.
It could be, I can just tell you they're off. Whatever they are, they're off. Because because a tennis ball would have that trajectory moving at that speed. That's all.
Is there any chance that's a tennis ball?
No. No, and by the way, but big news was that the Pentagon was tracking UFOs.
Right, we saw the footage. They released the footage from, like, F-18 fighter pilots on their little scope there where they saw it. It's like a tablet-shaped thing.
Infrared thing.
Accelerating, stopping, accelerating, changing directions in ways that they can't explain.
That has a way better chance of being aliens than this thing.
In mid-December, the mysteries about Oumuamua were still mounting, and scientists were beginning to wonder just where it had come from. Michelle Bannister picks up the story. So this brings me to the next question I wanted to ask, which is, do we know where this asteroid, this body, came from? It seems to me you've seen it coming in, so can we trace it back?
That will be a work in progress. What we can do is say the arc that it took as it came into the solar system, if we extend that back and back and back for 100 million years, you know, that's the better part of halfway around the galaxy as the sun's travelling.
Okay, so we've travelled a long way. This thing's been moving. It's complicated.
Yeah, you have to run the galaxy backwards in time and say, where were all the stars millions and millions of years ago? And then say, was Oumuamua close to one of these stars? And if it was, that's its last port of call. Now, that's not the same thing as saying that's where it's from, because the next star system that Oumuamua goes through, it'll look like it came from us.
That's true. People will trace, aliens will trace it back and think it came from here.
Brit science boffin Stephen Hawking is leading an investigation into whether the first object to arrive from outside our solar system in an alien spaceship. It traveled unimaginable distances at almost 200,000 miles per hour. And now a scientific body, led by Mr. Hawking, is trying to find out if the object is an alien probe or a previously unseen natural phenomenon.
So tracking Oumuamua's orbit back through time and space has suggested that it might come from a group of stars that astronomers call the Local Association.
this thing's gotta be like a ship, right? That looks too much like a spaceship.
This is not a photograph.
What?
This is an artist's rendering.
A pair of Harvard scientists say a massive, fast-moving visitor to our solar system may have been a probe sent by an advanced alien civilization. Astronomers were excited to discover the interstellar object last year. It was named Oumuamua. That's Hawaiian for messenger or scout.
To some, the reddish object looked like a cigar. Others thought it was shaped like a pancake.
It looks very different from objects that we have found in the solar system.
Avi Loeb, chair of the Harvard University Astronomy Department, said Oumuamua did not behave like an ordinary asteroid or give off gas like a comet.
There seemed to be an extra force that is pushing it, and it's not clear what this push is from.
In an upcoming paper, he and a colleague offer what they call a more exotic scenario. Oumuamua may be a fully operational probe sent intentionally to Earth's vicinity by an alien civilization.